Hello, my friend. I'm so excited to dive into this week's podcast episode for you on this week's astrology. Oh my goodness. This is going to be quite an interesting week. We have a lot happening in the stars this week. In this week's episode, I'll be diving deep into the transits of this week for you. I will also be sharing why people pleasing is holding you back from achieving your 2026 goals. I will then end off this podcast episode with a tarot reading of what energy to embrace, what energy to let go of. So let's just dive right into it. Now, if you haven't watched the full moon in Cancer episode that I released last week, go watch that episode because that is super juicy. It'll give you a lot of clarity because this full moon in Cancer has been intense. I'm already feeling this. I'm recording this on January 2nd. It's happening January 3rd. So you're going to feel this energy the following week. So go check that out. Oh my goodness, such a powerful full moon in Cancer. And what I want to briefly mention is there's something that you have to cut out of your life with that full moon. And for myself, you can see that this is one of my in-between episodes where I am just doing audio. I'm not feeling the greatest to be on camera. So this is helping me preserve my energy. This is what I need to do this week. Now, what is very exciting is on January 6th, we have a Venus cazimi in Capricorn. And with this Venus cazimi, this is when Venus and the Sun meet up in the sky. We're going to get some clarity around some financial matters. We're going to get some clarity on our values. We're going to get some clarity on what you need to do to kind of shift things in terms of how you spend your money or how you show love and affection. In the sign of Capricorn, I really see this as, are you investing your money in businesses that you really value and support? Or if you have a business, this could be you in a place of figuring out how to invest for your future, how this looks like in terms of your growth, what this means for your systems and structures of your business, and if you have that support that you really truly need and value. This could also look like if you're in a relationship or you're not sure about a relationship. This can give you some clarity as to, are your values aligned to that person? And with this being in the sign of Capricorn, this is us really looking at, okay, is this person reliable? Is this person consistently showing up for me? Because Capricorn is an earth sign. And what's really interesting about this too is what we value when Venus is in Capricorn is not only that consistency and reliability, but is someone keeping their word? Is someone respectful? Is someone at a place where they have this self-respect and they're able to really be there for you in a very stable, grounded way? This is what we're really truly valuing with Venus in Capricorn. We're also valuing the material world. Whenever Venus is in an earth sign, this is good to keep in mind. Like, are you really balancing your checkbook? Are you in a place of checking your budget? Are you in a place of looking at your numbers and figuring out, okay, can I make some adjustments as to what I really value and what do I need to let go of? So really good to keep this in mind. I think this Venus cazimi can be really helpful. If you are a Taurus or a Libra rising, as well as a Capricorn rising, you're going to feel this a lot more. Now on January 8th, we have Venus conjunct Mars in Capricorn. This is a bit fun, honestly. Yes, this feels like a lot of work because Capricorn has this energy of really focusing on our career, our public image, our reputation, but it's also a sign where we really value traditional things. So with Venus conjunct Mars, when we consider a relationship, this could be a really flirtatious situation in terms of a relationship, but it feels really practical and grounded. So this could potentially look like, for example, you're on a date and you're ending this date and, you know, the person reaches out to you and asks, oh, is it okay if I kiss you? And here you're kind of being shown this respect. You know, it's still cute, it's still flirtatious, but it's asking for consent, and it's in a really respectable manner. So I'm loving this energy. Venus conjunct Mars in Capricorn. I do want to mention this week feels like a lot is happening. So I want you to really pace yourself and not burn out, because let me tell you, this full moon in Cancer really got me. So I really want you to pace yourself and take breaks, schedule and rest. It's the beginning of the year, but remember, the astrological new year begins on March 20th at the start of Aries season. Now on January 9th, we have Venus in Capricorn opposing Jupiter in Cancer. So there's something here where you are looking at your values in a different way. You're in a place of understanding and witnessing, okay, how can I grow? How can I expand? How can I look at my finances? I really see this as a day where you could potentially be overspending. So really kind of pay attention to this. This could be a day when you receive a lot of uplifting messages or just really lovely comments or, messages from friends. This looks really supportive. This can relate to your work or home life. So perhaps you get messages from your family members, or perhaps you get messages about the work you're doing. This looks really supportive. However, again, we can overdo it with Jupiter energy. So just be cautious. This could be a time when, you're overbooking your schedule and you need to let go of something, right? Because we don't want to burn out. You want to take care of your body. Keep this in mind. Now, with Mercury in Capricorn sextile the North Node in Pisces, happening the same day, this looks like you're having some really good conversations that are grounded, especially about your career and public life. This looks like you are in a place of aligning to something that feels like a spiritual partnership. You're in a good place to align to take care of my mental health. Perhaps you are seeing a therapist this day, or an astrologer, tarot reader, or a mentor. And this is a really good day to really figure out, does the work I do feel meaningful and purposeful to me? Do I really feel good about this decision? This looks really, really good in terms of this, and very supportive around the conversations you're having. This could also be you talking to a friend about a work situation, and that's really helping you in terms of figuring out a plan for the year ahead. Now, on the same day, January 9th, we have the Sun conjunct Mars in Capricorn. So we have a Mars cazimi as well. So we have this beautiful cazimi in the sky with Mars, Venus, the Sun, and also Mercury. So with this energy, with a Mars cazimi, now you're getting clarity on January 9th about a work situation. Now you're in a place of, okay, is this best for me in terms of moving forward? Is this partnership aligned? Is this a time for me to take a step back? Are you burning yourself out? Because the sun can burn us. We have to consider this with a Mars cazimi. So really good to keep in mind. I also see this as you potentially getting more clarity on a relationship. So again, this can be a romantic relationship. This could be a work relationship. This could be a friendship. Whatever this may be, this is you in a place of getting some clarity as to how to take action in a different way. And in the sign of Capricorn, this is us really understanding, okay, am I really communicating this in a more direct way? Am I in a place of aligning my actions to what I'm saying, what I'm speaking? Am I aligning my actions to my words? Really, really good to keep in mind. Then on January 10th, we have Mars in Capricorn opposing Jupiter in Cancer. And we also have the Sun in Capricorn opposing Jupiter in Cancer later in the day. So again, we have to be careful of Jupiter energy. Yes, Jupiter is lucky. Yes, it's expansive. Yes, this is really, really uplifting. So this could be a day when you're meeting a lot of people. Maybe you have back-to-back meetings. Maybe you are going to a networking event and you're seeing a lot of people. I do see this situation as more so you're trying to balance out okay, what you're doing at home and what you're doing at work. So this is the day where you're just kind of a bit overwhelmed by the work you're doing. Perhaps you're just looking at the meetings you have planned for the beginning of the year. And yes, some of it can be really fun. However, it just feels a little bit overwhelming. So I want you to pace yourself. I want you to schedule in breaks. I do see that the luck that's coming from this is just a more uplifting, expansive energy of what to do for the future in terms of planning out your year ahead. That looks very supportive. You could feel like you're getting some support from family members or just emotional connections with Jupiter in Cancer. So that is very lovely. Yet I really want you to pace yourself this week because this can still feel a little bit overwhelming. However, I'm still loving this energy. This is going to be a huge week to get a lot of work done. With Mars in its exaltation in Capricorn, this looks like we're trying to really push out, all this work at the beginning of the year. And yes, we have the energy, but the problem with this is we sometimes think we have more energy than we actually do. So keep this in mind. Then on January 10th, we have Venus in Capricorn square Chiron in Aries. This is a bit of a sensitive day. This could be a day when you realize, okay, there's still this old wound around your sense of worthiness in a relationship, or perhaps there's a financial situation where you have to tend to. This feels as though there's something here that is a bit sensitive and a bit tender. So I want you to keep this in mind. I really see this as a day where you could just feel a little bit more tender and a bit more sensitive around a certain relationship or financial matter. So keep this in mind. It feels a bit uncomfortable, yet the good thing about this is you're realizing what you still need to heal from. You're realizing, okay, yes, this is a potential trigger in this relationship. I kind of see this more so as a work situation. I do want to put that out there. However, it's also showing you, okay, how can I take accountability? How can I remind myself I'm doing my best? How can I also be in a place of not defining what happens in this situation to my self-worth and self-value? That is something to really consider with this transit. So those are the major transits of this week for you. Oh my goodness, a lot happening in the sky. And this is honestly a very energizing week. So again, pace yourself, schedule in breaks. You're going to need it. And I want to mention that I do have a few spots left for 2026 readings. If you want a private session, if you want to dive deeper into your birth chart specifically and how the transits will affect your specific placements. Honestly, it's such a fun way to get excited for your year ahead. It's a fun way if you love planning, if you love just having this knowledge and wisdom of, okay, this is a time for me to push forward with my business, or this is a time to date more, or this is a time to really kind of enjoy and get excited about. So I'll leave more details if you'd like a 2026 reading down below. I am so excited. I just have 4 spots left for January. So let's dive into the topic for this week, which is why people pleasing is holding you back from achieving your 2026 goals. And I'm saying this as a Libra rising because honestly, this has been a theme for me throughout my life that I still am working on. And it's something I noticed this previous week where I realized I stayed in a situation even though my intuition was telling me to leave because I was people pleasing. And the thing is, sometimes it is us really needing to learn a lesson again and again and again before we start to realize, oh, no, I need to choose myself. Honestly, a lot of lessons in life are you trying to figure out how to choose yourself again and again and again. And this is when you're going to jump timelines. This is when you're going to quantum leap into a newer timeline where you're starting to realize what you no longer will put up with. So for myself, it was me realizing, okay, what is it about my chart that is kind of showing this? And how can I align and choose myself so that I can grow my business in a more sustainable way in 2026 and help others do the same? So for myself, it is not only me understanding my general theme of my life, which is dictated by your chart ruler. And for myself, as a Libra rising, my chart ruler is Venus in Virgo, retrograde in my 12th house in whole sign. It's in my 11th in Placidus. And for me, it has really taught me a lot of lessons where I started to realize, okay, potentially I need to really get better at my communication around my values. I really need to trust my intuition, especially as a Cancer moon. So my general theme for my life has been learning lessons around love and money and how to better my relationship with love and money and what this means for my relationships. There's also a lot of themes for me around friends, community, networks, dreams, goals, but also my subconscious mind, what stories I'm telling myself, what cycles am I breaking this lifetime, what generational trauma I'm healing from. And for myself, just knowing this, just knowing your theme and what lessons you're learning this lifetime can be so, so, so helpful, because for myself, it was me realizing that my word for 2025 was focus, and it was very, very difficult for me to focus. I will say that. It was very, very difficult for me to focus on the major things I wanted to get done. And yes, I've achieved a lot, which I'm very grateful for. I'm very proud of myself for getting monetized on YouTube after 5 years. That was probably the biggest win for me of 2025. And it did take a lot of focus. Yet, what's interesting, that happened at the beginning of the year, yet throughout the rest of the year, things started to go in a different direction. And I see this not only as what I was healing from in terms of my transits, but okay, I need to take a step back and realize there's something I'm doing and habits I'm doing based on people pleasing. So for myself, it was me learning I need to say no more often. I need to really focus and prioritize what feels good to me, what feels aligned for me. So it's so interesting for this happening and taking place for me, because this has been a journey for me. If you have an 11th house stellium, you could also feel like sometimes you're a bit scattered in your energy. There's a lot of benefits to an 11th house stellium, which I'm very grateful for. And the benefits of this is, of course, wanting that connection, that community, being involved in community in some way, having a lot of dreams and goals and getting excited for this. Yet knowing that an 11th house stellium can also make you a bit scattered and wanting to do a lot, that can also show you, okay, how can I take a step back and make sure I'm not doing anything out of people pleasing? And this is also a conversation I have a lot with my Boldest You mentees. And it's funny because we often help people with things that we ourselves struggle with. So for myself, I've been helping my Boldest You mentees say no more, respecting their boundaries, and really understanding how to step into more of an abundance mindset of, no, this is possible for you to receive in terms of the clients you want, in terms of the jobs you want to pay you more, in terms of all these things, but you have to first say no to what you know you don't want to do. And we can sometimes try to convince ourselves of, no, this will actually be good for me. No, this is going to make me feel seen. A really popular one is, no, this is actually good for exposure. So it's really understanding, no, you need to choose yourself. You need to choose yourself in your business. You need to choose yourself in your life. This is true for any kind of relationship. This is true for anything happening in your life. And it's not being selfish, right? The thing is, you need to choose yourself first before you can help other people. And that's something that sometimes I still struggle with as a Libra rising, because I want to be honest and vulnerable with you all, because it is so, so, so important to know that everyone is still having very similar problems and issues in their business or in what they're doing in their life, in their relationships. It could just look a different way. It could just be a different level of that problem. It could just be a different version of that problem. It might not be the exact problem in that exact relationship, but it's also teaching you something of what you need to learn from that situation. And sometimes we have to repeat a lesson over and over and over again before it finally clicks within us. No, this is the year I need to choose myself. And I say this too with the astrology of 2026, which if you haven't watched your VIP 2026 horoscopes, go watch that. Please let me know how they are, because I spent like 60 hours on them. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on them. I'd love to hear your feedback. I've been getting such amazing, amazing comments from them. So thank you for that. And also, if you've reached this far in the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and comment down below orange, just so that I know you've made it this far. Yet, I want you to kind of consider 2026 is such a pivotal year of change. I'll be diving a bit deeper into the astrology of 2026 in next week's episode. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to bring on a numerologist, so that's going to be really, really fun. Yet, I want you to just consider that the astrology of 2026 has a lot of transits leaving Pisces and entering Aries. We have this with Saturn entering Aries. We have this with Neptune entering Aries. And just focusing on those transits, that is us collectively letting go of this confusion, this misconception. If we think about the dark side of Neptune in Pisces or Saturn in Pisces, which there's some amazing benefits of these planets and transits. However, the challenge with this is wanting to people please, wanting to be a part of this collective energy, wanting so much to be in these emotional connections that we kind of sacrifice ourselves. Again, this is more so the darker side of this energy. There's a lot of benefits to this. Yet when we step into Saturn in Aries and Neptune in Aries, and Saturn is traditionally uncomfortable in the sign of Aries, yes, we have to be prepared for that. However, there's a lot of benefits to Saturn in Aries as well, because we're learning to choose ourselves. We're learning, actually, I need to focus on my identity. I need to focus on who I want to become. I need to focus on these practical things I need to do for myself and set boundaries and stop people pleasing, right? We need to really focus on this in 2026. Also, let me know in the comments if you do struggle with people pleasing, because I'm just so curious, because I know it's a common theme that I see with a lot of people, especially if you have Libra or Pisces placements or even Cancer placements too. I know for my Cancer moon, I get so empathetic with other people's situations that I sometimes ignore. Actually, no, I need to trust what's best for me and my business. I need to trust what's best for me and my relationships and what that looks like for my needs getting met, right? We have to remind ourselves of this. So when I'm talking to a Boldest You mentee about them struggling with taking on too much, or them struggling with people pleasing because they like previous clients, but they don't like the work they're doing with previous clients, it's knowing and understanding that the best relationships for you will understand where you're coming from, and they'll understand what you need to do for yourself. If a relationship is mad at you for setting a boundary, that's on them, right? That means that they're benefiting so much from you that they're now upset that they're not going to get benefited from your energy and your situation. So the people who get really mad at you setting boundaries, that's them projecting. And that is also them in a place of benefiting so much from your energy. So you have to take a step back and realize, actually, if this situation occurs, that's okay. I know I'm going to do what's best for me, because even if someone's mad or angry at you, you also have to remind yourself that that is for them to take care of. You do not have to tend to their emotions and needs. You have to protect your energy in this way. And I know it can be hard if you're a very empathetic person. And I know a lot of people listening to this are. And it can be really tricky. I know for myself, I'm ruled by Venus. I love love. I'm a Cancer moon. I feel everything. I feel everyone's emotions. So it's understanding, yes, you can still be empathetic. You can still be kind, but you need to set boundaries, and you need to do this for yourself, because you're not going to reach that next level in your business if you're still people pleasing. You're not going to reach that amazing dream client that you want to call into your life if you're still working with clients who maybe you're like, okay, they're okay with the situation, but I'm not happy with the work I'm doing for them. It's not aligned anymore. You're not going to be able to reach those dream clients. So I really want you to understand this and focus on this in 2026. And if you want more help and support on how to do this, how to set these boundaries, how to navigate your 2026 based on the astrology, based on your unique birth chart and what to really focus on, then go check out my Boldest You mentorship program. I do have the group option now available, which I'm so excited about, because a lot of people have been messaging me about a group version of this so that you can have extra support throughout the year. This is so amazing for you if you know you thrive in a group environment, and you also know that being around people who are actively working on their goals is going to make you more accountable to your goals, and it's going to make you more excited to get things done, to get things going, to get things started. This is for you. So if you have any questions on that, please let me know. I'm happy to hop on a free call with you to know if it's the right fit for you. All you have to do is just apply to the program down below, and we'll hop on a free call if you just want more information on it. Now, I hope this topic really helped you in terms of what you're going through. Again, this could apply not only for your business, but also your personal life. Now, let's dive into your tarot reading for this week. So the first card out is the 10 of Swords. So there's this emotional, heavy situation that you're exhausted from, that you're tired from. You feel as though you're done. You're just like, I can't do this anymore. You could have just felt like a bit burdened by a situation, maybe your thoughts, maybe you were overwhelmed with anxiety. Perhaps this is a situation where it's really caused a ruckus with your body. This is an energy where you're finally done with this difficult situation. You're just like, no, I'm choosing myself. This is a card of endings and closures. So even though it feels a little bit heavy, you're at the end of this. You're at the end of this cycle, and you're just like, no, I just want to leave this energy in 2025. I just need to move forward. So you're ending this cycle, and then we have the Queen of Pentacles this week. So this is lovely. This is grounded. This is us really seeing and choosing, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I need right now. This is you choosing your values and aligning your values to your actions. This is an energy where you're admiring what you've built for yourself, and you're admiring, actually, I'm proud of myself for this, what I've accomplished in this previous year, and how I can just focus on what is going well for me. So there's this really grounding energy this week, which makes so much sense with this Capricorn stellium in the sky. This is you in a better place and realizing what you need. So I love this for us. I love this for you. This is you in your power, choosing your values. So I love this. And the next card out is the Queen of Swords reverse. So there's something you need to get clear on. There's something that is a bit confusing. right now. You could feel like you still need a bit of inner clarity moving forward. So perhaps this is an energy where you're realizing, no, I need to really speak out loud my goals. I need to connect with more people who have similar goals. Or maybe perhaps this is you just speaking your truth and really trying to find that truth. Maybe there's some confusion of what feels meaningful to you. So there's something that you're letting go of. This could also look like you trying to let go of a difficult conversation that you've had and you're just trying to let it be in the past. This could also just be you trying to set more emotional boundaries for yourself. And I do see you trying to do a lot of reflection at the beginning of this month. So this is really helpful for that. I do love this energy for us. It can feel a little bit hard, but it also will help so much in terms of figuring out, no, this is how I need to move forward in this situation. I asked what our challenge is this week, which makes sense. We have the Two of Pentacles. So this is a card where you're balancing out a lot this week. You're in a place of just figuring out, okay, what feels better for you? How can you really balance out your energy? How can you be in a place of what feels best in terms of moving forward? So there is this energy of, okay, how can I focus this week? And I know that can be hard, even for myself, but this is an energy of you can't do everything all at once. You can do everything for sure, but maybe not all at once. So I asked what would help us with navigating these priorities and navigating what to focus on. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is very interesting. I want you to really focus on studying something that sparks joy for you. The Wheel of Fortune is also letting you know it's going to be dependent on the time and place of these situations that are being brought up for you. Ask yourself what is time sensitive. Ask yourself what needs to get done today for sure, no matter what, and let go of the rest or push it back. The Wheel of Fortune is also showing you there's so much opportunity in spontaneity, and there's also so much opportunity in not knowing things right away. So yes, it's good to plan, it's good to imagine, it's good to dream, it's good to get excited about these things. Just know that sometimes things can be 50 times better than what you expect. So the Wheel of Fortune is asking you to, yes, do all this work, but pace yourself and also come from a place of curiosity. Come from a place of, okay, how can I study something that feels more exciting to me? How can you be in a place of what kind of environment will make you more motivated and excited for your future? How can you approach things in a more fun way? That's going to help so much in this situation. So I do feel like there's just going to be an unexpected opportunity that happens this week. I'm getting this message. Now, your oracle cards are begin again. So fresh new beginnings happening this week, especially with these Kazimis. These are new cycles beginning for you. Really good to keep in mind. But also we do have a new moon in Capricorn happening later this month on the 18th. And I'm very excited for that episode. So new beginnings are taking place for you. Remind yourself of this. The energy of January, the astrology of January is so, so, so exciting. You also got make space for it. Again, for our topic this week, this is the month to really focus on what's important to you. Focus on setting intentions. Make space for it. Let go of things that are holding you back. Let go of obligations. Let go of things that you know you don't actually want to do. Really good to focus on. And we also have I have support. So really ask for support if you need it. Really reach out and talk to that person if you need help. Remind yourself you have more support than you think. May this be through your friends, your community, your network. May this be just asking for that support for your business. May this be investing in yourself. May this be you reminding yourself that you are always going to support yourself no matter what. Remind yourself of this. That's going to build so much more self-trust. So I hope this helps, friend. I really hope you're having an amazing, amazing start to your week. Also, I do want to mention I am hosting a 2026 goal setting using astrology in-person workshop in Toronto. If that's something you're interested in, I'll leave more details for that down below. I am so excited to see so many of you in person. This is going to be my only in-person Toronto astrology workshop event. So I'm going to be spending some time really focused on building this out for you. I'm so excited for this. Everyone who attends is going to get an amazing workbook so that you can keep it throughout the year. This is going to be so helpful in terms of aligning your goals to what is happening astrologically throughout the year. This is so helpful knowing which times to rest, which times to push through, which times to date, which times to just really feel good about the year ahead. So I'm so excited for this. Feel free to message me if you have any questions. I hope to see you in Toronto if you can make it. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for listening, friend. And if you have any questions about the Boldest You mentorship or the group option, please let me know. Please message me. I hope you're having an amazing start to the new year. And just remember, the universe has your back. And with peace and love, take care.